Today, I have a very important video on what I believe will be changed in terms of how an amusement or theme park operates once parks reopen for the first time later this year. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about what could happen once parks reopen, and many people seem to think that our favorite parks will operate normally and that there won't be too many changes, which is why I figured I needed to make this video, because I can guarantee right now that there will indeed be changes. Some of the potential changes I will talk about may seem negative, and because of that, I also want to say that I am not making this video to discourage people from visiting amusement and theme parks, because I do want them to do well, and I myself am very excited to return to them when they reopen. But I do want to temper expectations for when parks reopen, because otherwise I think there will be some people who get upset and frustrated during their next park visit because they went in thinking that operations would resume as normal. So with all that said, let's dive straight into this. The first thing I think we will be seeing is less attendance at parks, and this is obvious because it will probably happen for two reasons. The first reason being that many people will be scared to go out to places because they wouldn't want to get sick, and the second reason being that many people will not want to spend their money on visiting a park when they have been off from their job for weeks to even months. This will affect how much money the parks make this year, but some people might also say that it should decrease wait times, which, as you'll see later in the video, may or may not be the case. The second problem will likely be that many parks will have a staff shortage, and this will have an effect on the parks, and with this you can expect certain less popular rides to be closed for a while, just because there won't be enough people to operate them, and this may also slow down ride dispatches and food service at parks. As for changes in guest experience, I believe that we will see new changes in how queues and queue lines work for at least this year. At Universal Studios Singapore, which is currently open, they have made it so guests must be at least 1 meter apart when waiting in line, and they have put down markers that are 1 meter apart to let guests know where they are supposed to stand. I believe some US parks will do something similar to this, but have the markers spread out by 2 meters, and this will obviously make lines look longer than they really are. On the topic of queuing, I could see some park chains like Universal and Disney going to a virtual queuing system where you reserve your ride time through an app, as both chains have experience with these, and Disneyland has added a virtual queue section on their app since they closed. I believe that if parks start going to a virtual queuing system, there will be no going back, and this may be the beginning of virtual queuing becoming a normal system for parks around the globe. As far as operational changes go, we will probably see slower dispatches for rides due to staff shortage, and also because seats on rides will probably be wiped down and cleaned after every cycle, as this has been what Universal Singapore has been doing, and some parks in the US also did this shortly before closing. I could see more seat cleanings becoming a permanent part of ride operations moving forward, but this may also just be temporary. We will also probably see reduced capacity on rides that feature multiple rows, as this has also been seen at Universal Singapore, and basically what they are doing is that they are loading every other row. So for example, they would put passengers into row 1, have row 2 empty, and then fill row 3, and that cycle repeats for the rest of the train. I expect that US parks will do the same, and during this time more rides may also have assigned seating, but the reduced capacity should only be a temporary change. Shows, parades, and character meet and greets may also be temporarily suspended or be limited at theme parks, as they have all been suspended at Universal Singapore for the time being. Rides that have a large portion of their queue indoors, as well as interactive dark rides where you press buttons or shoot at something such as Toy Story Midway Mania, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, and Justice League Battle for Metropolis may also not reopen with the parks, although this is one change I'm not as sure will happen, but I'll throw out the possibility in case it does happen. A few other things we as visitors can expect to see are more hand sanitizer dispensers throughout the park and inside ride stations, as well as limited seating in sit-down restaurants located inside the park, and of course signs located in different areas around the park will be promoting social distancing and keeping our hands clean. Thank you all for watching, and remember that all the changes that I mentioned in the video are currently just possibilities that I came up with based on what parks have or are doing, or what I have read about. And make sure to comment what you think about some of these potential changes, as well as some that you think I missed out on. Make sure to share this video with others you know who like to visit theme parks or ride roller coasters, as I believe the topic of how parks will change once they reopen is something that isn't being discussed enough. Also, if you like roller coaster and amusement or theme park related content, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time here on Coaster Hour.